Hey everybody, it's Andy with Nerds on the Run. Today I'm bringing you guys a little something different. Used to go up on my channel quite a while ago, and now I'm trying to bring it back for those of you that maybe are interested. This is a series I called Gear-check. Gear-check is something where we're basically just going through some of the running gear that I do use to kind of stay fit while I'm not enjoying my sedentary pastimes. And in this case, it's to celebrate our 19-mile run today for the Chicago Marathon training. So check out my past old Gear-check vlogs. They are pretty unpolished, as this product is as well. But I have some updates and some last-minute changes to the final push for the October training deadline. So the first thing that I've changed recently is the kind of fuel I'm using. I've been using the Gatorade Endurance formula for a while now. I used it in the 2017 season that I did, and I used it a little bit in the 2018 season, even though I was off from the marathon. I did do some other races. Now, the reason I switched to the gel version over the chew version, I do like the chew version better, but it is... it's hard to get down almost anything when you're moving at a decent pace, and so the chews are probably something I'll end up utilizing a fair bit for the race. But when I really just need something quick, it's not enough calories, it's not quite enough sodium, and if you don't take it with water immediately, it can kind of throw your game off a little bit in the form of some stomach distress. So pretty much the main advantage is that you can get it down pretty quick. You don't have to chew for, it takes me almost a quarter mile or so to get down some chews while I'm moving at pace. It takes me almost no time at all to do the gel pack. So it's something that I use just to kind of make sure that I am taking in the calories and replenishing and stuff like that. I'm still experimenting with it a little bit, but so it'll be some mix of both the chews and the gel. So a little bit of a fuel change. I think in my last vlog in the series, I was using the Cliff Shot blocks, which are still fine. Again, those take me actually even probably more like a third of a mile or more to get down. There's 6 of those in a pack. They are more calories. They are more beneficial overall, but it's also hard to get them all down. So that's one change. Another change is the type of compression I'm using. This is nothing special, nothing to write home about. It's a little bit less compression than what Under Armour has available. It's a little bit less compression than what some of the Nike shirts do, but about the same. This is the Starter brand, which is it's an Amazon thing now. Starter kind of has some nostalgia for me back, those throwback 90s days, but I guess I'm dating myself. So I do enjoy the Starter gear. The compression is moderate to medium, and it works pretty well. Doesn't bind up, doesn't chafe. So it works for what it is. I did start wearing a 5-panel New Balance hat. It has some reflectivity right in the front here. It's got a slight bit of reflectivity in the brim of the cap here. Really would be an amazing hat with the exception of the buckle here, or I guess the fastener. I was hoping for a buckle. It looks like it does have a buckle on it, a typical buckle, but it doesn't have a great fastening mechanic when it comes to the actual length of the strap. So quite often the hat, even as I'm just touching it here, it very easily elongates, and pretty much the only way to keep it at the length that you desire is to reset it each time, and then make sure that you don't let tension slack on the hat as you put it on. And then the tension of your head will pretty much keep it in place, so I won't say it's a major complaint while you're using it. But if you take it off mid-run or anything, just to readjust, to get some cool air on your head, it's not going to always be easy to get back on without it feeling like a size or two bigger. So it's a little bit unfortunate because it's a really sharp hat. Besides, I'm kind of toying with the idea of just putting in, 3 or 4 stitches right here just to, keep it sort of in one place once I've got it where I want it. But it is a really solid hat besides that. So it's been, compared to the Under Armour hat that I was using, it's a little bit more, it's a little bit thicker, but also I think the breathability of it isn't affected. So it greatly is it is a greatly useful hat. Last two major changes are what kind of belt I'm in. So this Run to See, the Run Fantasy belt, Run to See makes a touchscreen friendly, water resistant case for your phone, which is a separate from a two-fold pocket with a key slot in the middle of it. So this is a much better belt as far as the front of it goes from my older running gear, and the water pouches on them actually, or I should say the water bottles on them are actually each about 30 ounces bigger, I believe, about 30 ounces a piece bigger. It holds two of these guys. They actually do stand up upright on their own. The other ones have a completely round bottom, which I didn't actually think was something I needed, but it really helps a lot. So it has more room for hydration, has more room for fuel, a separate pouch for your phone, and all that. I thought for sure I would be having some bounce issues, but it does have some nodules on the back and a pretty wide band width for weight distribution. So I'm not slipping in this thing. It's not bouncing. It's a really solid belt. It has a little bit of reflectivity on it, but it's not a major feature. But it's an excellent running belt, so I'm really pleased with how that's gone so far, and it's going to be coming on the race with me, and hopefully no chafing or anything like that. I was running in another belt that was that had the smaller water bottles, and it was chafing me just on the bottoms of my obliques a little bit, so I'll be glad to try this out. Biggest change, and certainly not last but not least, is I am now running in the Adrenaline GTS 19 version of the Brooks running shoe. These guys I ran in probably 4 pairs of the 17s. They changed construction for the 18s, so I was looking for a different solution at the time. Ended up upgrading to the Transcend model, the Transcend 5 model, which I did discuss in one of my past videos. Really solid shoe. I actually was going to get the Transcend again, but just for budgetary reasons and for some feature reasons, I decided to go back to the 19s. I raced in the 19s for a long time. I love them. And the actual guide rail technology that was in the Transcends has actually been adopted into the Adrenaline. So the Adrenaline still is a higher contact shoe, definitely pure stability with less cushion than the Transcend. But for overpronators like myself, or for anybody that needs stabilization, these guide rails were one of the better features in the Transcend, and they've been put into one of my best running shoes that I've ever performed in. So the Adrenaline 19s are the way to go, and I'm really glad. They are a little bit slower to break in than the Transcends, but they are really solid. So I've been pulling some okay pace times in these, and a couple of tempo runs so far, and they went pretty well. So we'll see how they progress over the month. I will be on Twitter at @on_notor, and I'll let you know if for some reason they aren't good shoes to be racing in for the long haul. Worst case scenario, I can always flip back over to a pair of Transcends or something like that. But I am pretty optimistic that these guys will break in pretty nicely based on the several tempo and pace runs that I've done in them. So I know this is a little bit different content than what I've been putting out on the channel based on some of the comics, some of the movie stuff. I won't do this stuff too often. This isn't going to be like a YouTube fitness channel or anything like that, but gear checks are something that I'll do occasionally when I upgrade some of my material that I'm using for either my exercise training routines, or gear checks could include fun gadgets and stuff like that too, if you all want me to do that kind of stuff with it as well. So again, this has been Andy with Nerds on the Run. I hope you all have a great day, and please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, ringing the bell so you know what's going on with us, and participating in the channel by giving us feedback.